Your mic should be on and your video. That is opposite. I need to revise that. Your microphone should be off and your video should be on and your face should be in the frame. As you know, Ms. Michelle is in here helping us, so you might get a message from her if she needs you to reset your camera. So please be prepared to communicate any tech issues with Ms. Michelle during this class. Be prepared for warm and cold call because today is a doc analysis and discourse day. Make sure you are using the chat constructively. And in terms of Google Classroom, as always, your exit ticket is going to be due at the end of class and you have your homework due on Monday. On the Nearpod, you'll see that we have our 4 words for the word wall: the ghost dance, Wounded Knee Massacre, Dawes Act, and assimilation. You are going to have 3 minutes to review those key terms and be prepared for the oral drill. 3 minutes on the clock to review those key terms on the word wall. You have space to write them down on page 2 of your classwork. Go ahead and get started. Two more minutes to review those 4 key terms. One more minute to finish reviewing those key terms. Okay, that is time. Let's start off with the ghost dance movement. What was the ghost dance movement, starting with Kayla?
I'm sorry, my alarm just went off.
Oh, no worries.
The ghost dance movement was one of the ways the Native Americans fought to practice their movements. The goal was to bring back the buffalo or drive the white soldiers off their land.
Awesome. What are the impacts of the ghost dance movement, Sierra?
Um, hmm. Didn't it drive like it drove the white people off the land?
What does it do to the relationship between white settlers and the federal government with the Native Americans?
Um, didn't it force
Sorry, Siri.
didn't didn't force the government to like respond?
Awesome. And they responded with violence. What is the massacre that occurs after the Ghost Dance movement? Drop it in the chat. What is the massacre? Everybody. What is the massacre that is a result of the Ghost Dance movement? Awesome. Thank you, Kamaya, for starting us off. Everybody should be dropping in the chat. Awesome. I have 6 of us. Awesome. Looks like we are universally with the understanding it is the Wounded Knee massacre that is a result of the increased conflict between Native Americans because of the Ghost Dance movement. What is the Dawes Act? What is the Dawes Act? Kamaya.
Um, the Dawes Act happened in 1887, and it was to end a reservation system. It gave small Native families land, and like the belief was that it would help assimilation policies.
Great. Speaking of assimilation policies, what are the characteristics of assimilation? Drop those in the chat. What is assimilation in the chat? Awesome. Thank you, Skyanne, for starting us off. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you, Shakeem. Okay, 15 more seconds to share our ideas on assimilation. Thank you, Mila. I appreciate the quotation marks. Great. Samaj, can you unmute and stamp for us what assimilation is?
I said forcing white culture on natives.
Awesome. So today we are going to be zooming in on assimilationist policies with Native Americans. But first, we're going to do a quick bit of IA review. So on page 1 of your classwork, there are 4 multiple choice questions, which are review for the IA, which is less than 2 weeks from today. So you're going to take 3 minutes to answer those 4 multiple choice questions, and then we'll quickly review before we go into today's lesson. 3 minutes, page 1 of your classwork, go ahead and get started. One more minute on the do now. Ten more seconds to finish up. Great, we're gonna quickly review those answers so that way you can use this as a study guide for the IA. Number 1 is C. Number 2 is C. Number 3 is A. And number 4 is A. Take 15 seconds, adjust your responses. So again, it's C. Number 1 is C. Number 2 is C. Number 3 is A. And number 4 is A. So CCAA. Great, we're gonna go ahead and transition back to today's content, which is again on Native American assimilation and what these assimilationist policies look like. So before we get started on our document analysis, I wanna show you guys a new tool that we are going to be using for the rest of our annotation collection. So instead of writing your annotations in your actual classwork, you're going to be sharing them in a Google Sheet. So I do know that like in your classwork packet, there is spots for this, but we're going to try something a little different today. So if you look at my screen, I've created a new annotation tracker. And so for these documents today, we are specifically going to be focusing on our POV, our historical context, and our significant statement. So what you are going to do, I'm going to share the link to this Google Sheet in the chat. I see some of us are already hopping on because it's attached to the Google Classroom assignment. Thank you to the 4 of you who have already done that. The Google Sheet is now in the chat. Great, looks like I have 5 of us. We'll give us 15 more seconds to get it pulled up. Great, we're at 11. Do my math correctly? Awesome, thank you for the urgency. 10 more seconds to get it pulled up. Great, we should be at 19 and I see 16 of us on it. If you have issues pulling up the Google Sheet, please let me know. So how this is going to work, I'm going to show you guys my exemplar. So this is a historical cartoon that we've used before. And let's say this was the document that I had to annotate. What you would do is look at the document in your classwork and fill in your POV, your historical context, and your significant statement, just like you would in your classwork document. But what this is going to do, it's going to allow me to look at everybody's responses basically at the same time. So that way I can give you guys real-time feedback in a more effective way to make sure you guys are able to annotate your documents as successfully and as beneficially as possible. So for document 1, what you're going to do is locate your name. So like if I am Arabia, I'm going to click in Arabia's little POV corner. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at document 1 in your classwork document. You're going to read, you're going to annotate it, and then you're going to go over to the Google Sheet and start filling in your POV and your historical context document. I mean, your POV, your historical context, and significance statement. Today, we're not going to worry about since statements. We are only worrying about significance statements. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions about the Google Sheet? I did see one person send me a question. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, Chilisha, I'm so sorry. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any questions. So we are gonna go ahead and get started, but we're gonna chunk this and we're gonna take 5 minutes to work on document 1. So again, we're gonna read document 1 and fill in our annotations on the tracker, and then I will direct us to look at an exemplar annotation, so that way we know how to model ourselves for documents 2 and 3. So you have 5 minutes to read and annotate document 1 and fill it in the tracker. Go ahead and get started. You have 3 more minutes. Awesome. Great start to these annotations. You have 90 more seconds. If you haven't started writing your significant statement, go ahead and get started on that. So you have 90 seconds left. Go ahead and get started on that significant statement. Awesome. Go ahead and exit out of whichever square you're in, because that's the only way we can actually see it. So just like highlight over your name or just get out of whichever thing you're in. Okay. And I want everybody to track Giovanni's response. And I specifically want us to focus in on her significant statement. Giovanni, would you mind reading your significant statement out loud?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I said this is significant because the school was used for the rejuvenation of the Indians and served as a way for the government to easily have a hold on them.
Awesome. This is an exemplar significant statement because it answers the question and it directly ties it to this idea of assimilation within, which as we know is like the main topic for today. So now we're going to do this for document 2 and document 3. You're going to have 8 minutes to do documents 2 and 3 before we come back together as a whole group. I'll be specifically focusing in on the significant statements, and after 4 minutes, I'll prompt you to switch to document 3. 8 minutes to do documents 2 and 3. Go ahead and get started. 5.5 minutes left. Again, you should be filling in the annotations for document 2. Four and a half minutes left. You should be finishing up the significant statement on document 2. Take 1 more minute to finish document 2 and then transition to document 3. 1 more minute to finish document 2. Transition to document 3 if you have not done so yet. So again, transition to document 3 if you have not done so. So the third tab on the Google Sheet. Awesome significant statements for document 2, Skyanne and Jalasia. Three and a half minutes left. Again, we should all be on document 3. Even if you did not finish document 2, we should be on document 3. Great POV corner on document 3, Giovanni. "90 more seconds to finish your annotations for document 3. "30 more seconds to finish up your annotations." Great, go ahead and finish where you're at and take the next 30 seconds just to peruse what some of your classmates said and think about how they build on your own thinking, and then we will transition into discourse. So, why was the Carlisle School created? Can I hear from Arabia and then Kamaya? Why was the Carlisle School created?
It was created to help Indians form into white culture.
Bill,
I
Kamaya?
I agree with Arabia's point on like them trying to wipe away Indian culture and trying to civilize them by forcing white culture, and they had to adapt to the American way completely.
Interesting. So Arabia and Kamaya bring up this point of adapting to white culture or forcing natives to adapt white culture. What is a piece of evidence that supports that? Share it in the chat. So everybody share a piece of evidence that supports Arabia and Kamaya's response. Take 30 seconds. What is a piece of evidence from the documents to support their assertion? Awesome. Thank you, Mayla. Thank you, Skyanne. Great. I'm seeing a lot from document 3. What about documents 1 and 2? How does documents 1 and 2 fit into this? Interesting piece of evidence, Kamaya. Great. Let's unmute and build on this evidence that we've collected. Why was the Carlisle School created? Utilizing evidence. Can I hear from Sierra? And then can I hear from Giovanni?
All right. I said that the Carlisle School was created because they wanted like Indians to like, I guess, quote unquote, fit in to like American culture. And an evidence that supports that is in document 2, where it says kill the Indian in him and then save the man.
Build on that, Giovanni.
I agree because in document 3, it gives a point of view of how the Indian and the person is basically erased and they're introduced into something that's foreign to them, and that becomes like their new culture.
Awesome. What are we hearing about the Carlisle School? What are we hearing about the Carlisle School, Samaj? Samaj, are you there? Great, Samaj. If you're having any technical issues, go ahead and chat me. Thank you. Okay, so what are we hearing? What is the purpose of the Carlisle School? Kayla.
The purpose was to basically disarm the Indians from their original beliefs and put them into a new culture, which was the white Americans.
Great. We are going to go ahead and transition to our exit ticket. As always, once you submit your classwork and your exit ticket, you'll be free to go. If you have any questions about your exit ticket, feel free to chat me. And thank you guys for a really great class. Yeah, for the classwork assignment, you guys just need to press turn in because you did all your annotations in the Google Sheet. It's just so that way I have the record that you were in class and you did the work. Awesome job, Sakina. Once you submit your classwork packet, you're free to go. Awesome. Thank you, Jalasia. Once you submit your once you click the turn in button on the classwork packet, you're free to go. And I got it. You're good to go.